Good morning and welcome back to the Coin King channel. I am your host down the Crypto TA. Just picking back up where we left off yesterday with Bitcoin. We're basically in the same area that we were talking about. I did mention the fact that I felt like Bitcoin was going to come up here and take this liquidity right here. You can see how we stalled out and we didn't quite get above that just yet. Um, and that if we got any higher than that, we would get into the lows in here. So probably right around in here to about right in here, we would get here where we have the golden pocket 786 located at. Um, this could actually turn into an inverse head and shoulder. The only concern I have with this is I was seeing a rise in the cloud. At least I saw it on Ethereum. So I ended up closing out my Ethereum position in here. But with Bitcoin, I actually haven't checked that today. So let me just see if Bitcoin was doing the same thing. Not quite the same as how Ethereum's looked, but, nonetheless, mm, it does indicate some weakness in here for Bitcoin at this stage. I mean, at best, we can just wait and see if price is gonna get above that 78, we'll just say 78,600, and if it does that, um and we're seeing some sort of momentum coming in right there, then chances are we can get into this equal liquidity right here. So that's what we have here at this point, just some equal high liquidity that tends to get taken. But we may not, from this stage, be able to get into that golden pocket 786. So we'll just be observant of that. Take a look at the time frames in here. So, yeah, you see momentum starting to break down right here. Yesterday, we got that started the little breakdown right here, and then we got the reclaim above after taking the liquidity from the weekend right here. So that's why I was suggesting that we get in here and we get that liquidity there. So gap still unfilled also on CME. Not, at some point it will happen. We can't really put a time on when it does happen, but at some point it will happen. So it doesn't guarantee that we see a bigger reversal in here right now. But yeah, nonetheless, we are losing steam in here. We were green across the time frames, at least from the 1 hour and up. 4 hour, I was noticing that yeah, that 4 hour indicator that I'm looking at, which you can't see in here, but it looks like it's preparing to flip back down. It hasn't confirmed that yet, but like I said, you can still see the weakness in here, especially since we didn't manage to get into that liquidity up there. You just have to give it a little bit of time, see how things go. We don't know, unless you bought it down here. You don't need to try to chase price action right now, and unless you shorted it up here, there's really nothing for you to do besides sit on your hands at this point. Right? See. I did state that, that possible inverse head and shoulder, but again, it just depends on what this 4 hour is about to do. And the only thing I can say I did not like over there, 4 hour, yeah, I mean, we got some curvature down here on the RSI, and we were a little, no, not quite, still below 20 SMA in here. Um, Today's Tuesday, you know, we'll see what happens with today. Yesterday could have been all of I don't think it was a false move. I think that we were just recovering what was happening over the weekend. Um, but today, is where the market really starts to show its true colors on Tuesday. So let's see here. Nothing's really changed on these time frames in here. Still, just recovering that from yesterday too. We did not take the liquidity off of this pivot right here either. So I'm gonna assume that the market isn't looking to go higher. It really isn't. It's not taking the liquidity right there. Liquidity is fuel. You stop at the gas station and you don't pump any gas in it, then you're almost on empty. You just, I mean, you're not going anywhere, basically. Yep. So it's just these lower time frames that we need to keep our eyes on. Again, I feel a little bit bearish in here, especially seeing this, and not taking the liquidity up here. So I guess you could argue, hey, we're not looking to go lower either, but this is a lower time frame. It's a lower time frame, so we're just pretty sideways from here for now. Nothing to truly cover in there. Here over on Ethereum, see how Ethereum looks a lot more aggressive in here? Like I said, I cut my Ethereum long position, for this reason, because this is all the way up here on Ethereum. So this, like, right now, not seeing any actual strength coming in from this signal right here. So from the scale line, it's not actually falling out, pushing downwards. But nonetheless, what you start to get in here when you start to get a rise out of the indicator is bear divs. And so you can see the bearish divergences coming in here. You can see the bear div from here to here, and you see the bear div from here and this little pivot right here, here, and here. So this starts to create bearish divergence, and this is why I don't like it. You got the bear div right here. So all of this section in here from this push up, we got the bear div. I think I kind of discussed this yesterday too. Um, I know at least on Bitcoin, I did discuss it because we got the breakdown below our momentum line in here. And that's another indication of bear divs. When you get a breakdown below a momentum line, but price continues to push up. And it does so kind of like off of a squeeze, because you start to put in these higher lows for a little bit here on the indicator, and then it starts to squeeze the price a bit. But failure to reclaim back above it, that's the bearish divergence playing out. So it doesn't, dictate how low price action will get. If anything, we can continue to monitor about right in here, which is, pretty close to where this wick is at here. That low is 22.49 here for Ethereum, on whether or not it'd be a good idea to reconsider, or the strength of this push to the downside. Let me look back over here at Bitcoin real quick and just kind of see, because I don't necessarily have too much labeled out over here on Bitcoin. I guess with Bitcoin, let's just say, for instance, in here, um, let's just say we come back and yeah, I mean, that prior, I think this is a 4 hour that I'm looking at. No, it's a daily. So we come back down here. Let's just say we come back and back test on this trend line that we got the break up above, maybe something like that. And that gives it this sort of inverse, it gives it this inverse head and shoulder potential play here for Bitcoin. That's something that we can look at right there. Maintaining above that previous day low, possibly coming back in here and back testing this trend line, something like that. It depends on how fast we come down to. If we start to chop, 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 I guess we just drop a fib on this and see how we do coming back into golden pocket. So let's just do that. Yeah. Yeah, so something like that. You probably want to avoid this 786. Now, if they choose to do a liquidity grab, then we can look for an SFP down here on Bitcoin. But I do think we're going to hold up a little bit more in here. So a little bit more rationality to us holding up in here. Let's see. Let me see right in here. Mm, yeah, not really anything. Yeah, not really anything new. Not necessarily, but we're still gonna be around some support, but that's like a $10,000 drop, 10 to $15,000 drop through here. Just just trying to find or getting into a little bit more cushioning for the fall. So yeah, not really a lot happening there. Solana, I think Sol's pretty much same situation in here. Let me see. Yeah, Solana, same situation in here. Not really showing the full strength of this move to the downside just yet, though, because we're still basically sideways through here. But it does still have that rising cloud in here as well. And unless we're coming back up above that 104.54 and we start to see momentum come with it, yeah, this we probably peaked on it. We didn't take the liquidity from here either, which was the thing I was looking at for all of them, is basically just getting in here and getting into and taking the weekend liquidity through here. But this is, yeah, this is just being resistance in here right now. Let me just flip that to gray. So we really don't have too much in here right now. Lower highs. We'll put one right here too, just on this book right here. For when we do, or if we do start to break down below that. And then I would just start to look back down here, possibly down here for Solana. I don't know. It doesn't come across as strong in the current moment. And you guys already know why I feel that way about Solana. And that has a lot to do with this. And especially if we end up taking out this little bottom right here that we're so desperately holding on to. But if we start to lose that, back over here, you can see how Sol also has been kind of holding this point of control over here as well. So got some, I mean, yeah, this is just the fine line right here. I explained that there really wasn't anything in here, not much in here for Solana in terms of how low it can potentially go here from this weekly time frame. So around 40 to 30 could be the case. I'm not calling for that just yet. I've explained that below this low right here. I mean, that's a lower low. We're closing below this low right here. That's a lower low here on a larger time frame, it's a weekly time frame, and we really need to hold it right here. We need to hold it down right here. Um, but I ended up drawing out this line right here, and this could this could hold it up right here, as opposed to us being able to drop further down here into this level here. So this is something to watch for, because otherwise it's these highs in here that we'd be looking at next for some sort of support for Solana. And let me just go ahead and take a look at I'm only going to do Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and then I'll take a look at XRP, but I'm not going to go through too many of the other altcoins. These are your larger cap ones, your more important ones, I suppose. And I'll just stick to those four. I usually just stick to these three: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. But let's go ahead and throw XRP in here as well. Let me just go to this first time frame in here. This one right here. And flip this one to. Let me just go to the daily and see if anything changed in here for XRP, which I probably hasn't. Nope. All signs are red. This is what we were looking at yesterday. The fact that we are still coiling in here for XRP. Let me put this here and this one down here now. Yeah, so we just, we're sideways in here, this little area here, just sideways. We continue to zoom out a little bit more since we're here. If we do, sorry, let me just stretch these out a little bit. If we do break to the downside in here, I'll be looking at 134. Next, I mean, you can take into account that 134 and that 118 in here for XRP, but right now we're still just ranging sideways around our 162 right now. And then we can take a look at the pattern that we're forming in here as well within our little range we have here. So this is going to be our, actually, let me start it out with this right here. I like to do that. I was working on something else. So my line is, let me just see. Is that a double bottom? I think we talked about that being a double bottom on 5307. Okay. I'm just gonna set that like that for now. Just kind of make our pattern a little bit clearer to us. This is what we're working with right now. Within this coiling range right here. That tends to be a bearish formation here down at the lows. I mean, we can't really dictate in what direction it's going to go, but that tends to be a bearish pattern from the low down here. Now, if it maintains this higher low in here, I mean, maybe we can see a break to the upside, push up here, take the liquidity off of the top side of our mother. I don't really know what's happening with that flashing on my indicator. I mean, on my streaming platform. I apologize for that. But yeah, we could just come in here and take the liquidity from up here. That's a possibility. If we do see like the break to the downside, and let's just say you also can, because anytime you're in a range like this right here, the breakdown has to come with some sort of volume or something like that, of course. And I'm talking referring to outside of this range area right here. If it doesn't have volume, with it, then it can just be an SFP, taking the liquidity from the low. This is an actual breakdown side, and then we push back up. They take the liquidity from the top side as well, or market makers, send prices a lot higher in here. And in that case, then we would be looking at a one-to-one measure move in here on the pattern to the upside. That's what we're looking for in here, about $2. And that's taking this over here. Yep, that's taking this right in here, or to the downside in here. And let me just move to another time frame, just kind of see if I can make out. Oh, that would be taking this down here. And this is, it is one of few charts that hasn't taken that October 10th liquidity off of this candle down here. So yikes, 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 yikes. So if that happens, yikes. If that happens, I would look for a pause at 118. That's the weekly level down below this wick here from October 10th. All right. So yeah. That's what we'll have here, you know. And depending on how long it takes for this to play out, we could extend this out a little bit in here and then just look for a tap back into this descending trend line also. Um, dang. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. But that's what we're working with right now in here um, for XRP. For some reason my what's I doing this from here? I'm constantly hitting, visibility, uh, blocks on my lines, so sometimes they don't show up in here. Let's see about divergence or anything like that. Oh, we know we got the bear div right here. Got the bear div right here. I'm pretty sure it looks like if I turn on QTD, it's about the same. About the same. Here's what we're seeing off of this RSI, but definitely bear div right there. At best, I guess if it comes back down here and taps into this trend line, looking for some bullish divergence, or like I said, with the low of the range here, which is just if you just go on your chart. TradingView is free. So if you just go on your chart and you do exactly what I did in here, which I use, um, yeah, I'm using the daily for this candle right here. And then you can see the ones that are sitting inside the inside range right here to, to map out the pattern that we're forming within this coiling, coiling. Yeah. Let's get some confluence for this with the Bollinger Band. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got it right here. So no sense in me drawing an additional line in here for that for this break right here. And you can, but mainly it's going to be all about this line right here. But I mean, you can you can add some extra extra lines in here. If I did, I'll probably put it on this one right here though, um, which we're already underneath that. I'm not going to worry about that internal internal stuff right there. Just this. But that's what you have to look for on XRP. Imma put this back on Solana. Solana, and I think Sol and the other ones also had, I think I might have, I think I might have also marked out some, ranges in here for them also. I didn't. Solana had already taken the liquidity from the low on this 4-hour time frame because it had this little range right here, and I don't think it has another one. But Sol had, uh at this little range right here. And it's already taking the liquidity off of this low in here. Uh, I mean, maybe it does want to do an inverse. I mean, I can't say it doesn't, but I mean, we just have to look for bullish divergence in here. Let's see. We'll see. Let me just stop that on that low right there for now. This would be so wrong if we do pop pop back up, only coming midway. We put a Yeah, so we could look for that. Just coming back down here towards this golden pocket 786. And if we bounce from there, then we'll be looking for a break above this neckline right here. Uh, we'll push out. And we'll measure it out. The last time we did this, recall, it did not play out, but it's worth noting it anyway. Not trying to be right, just trying to have a probability. Puts us towards this monthly level right here. But I would still consider getting back into this 124 range, something like that. This breakdown comes from, let's see, Thursday. You know what? Let me check. Um, CME. I guess I'm gonna start this gap from here now. We got quite a few common, little common gaps in here. I don't know how valid this is going to be on Solana. It just could be, a lack of participation in the CME chart as well over here. I hate these little blue lines in the background. Fade those out. 4 hour. Legit right there though. And so from this higher time frame, it's more useful. Let me see if we have anything in here worth looking at. Nothing. Okay. So let me look back at this. And we got a fair value gap right in here. Either the fair value gap or the full fill of this inefficiency right here, um, for this target or a break to the upside outside of this calling range in here. And we'll just take the time to do exactly as we did with XRP and just check and see if we have if the compression, yeah, it does. So 15 minute, 1 hour like that. Yeah, yeah. So it's like on the floor. Yeah, that could be legit. If it was breaking to the upside and be looking for it to get above the 20 SMA in here, which, the 20 SMA was acting as a little bit of resistance in here. And if it's falling to the downside, we'd be looking for support here from standard deviation 2, since standard deviation 2 is actually curved to the upside here. So possible break to the upside here. Possible. I think that's my 15-minute window. That's my 4 hour window. I'll put this back on 4. And over here, it didn't quite play out. Mostly it does. About a good 80% of the time, whenever I see the green in here from pressure building up from the Bollinger, it breaks to the upside. This didn't. It did get a break up here, but you can see how it. Yeah, once it got above 20 SMA, it failed. It failed. So Right now, that's basically what it's indicating. Hey, there's some pressure in here at the zone. You're still underneath the 20 SMA. Once we break above that 20 SMA, which was at the top side of this right here, volume needs to come with that break to the upside. Otherwise, it's going to fail. And we're just going to see bearish divergence. And it's probably what we had right here. Also, it's just some bearish, bear divs. There it is. I don't really see yeah, there it is right here and here. And probably was down here as well. Yeah, so the bear div. That's basically it. So if we're breaking out, need that volume, got that volume, then expect for that continuation to come in here to push us, okay, perfectly into the bottom side of the cloud as well. All right. So I mean that would make sense to me. And if any more, then yeah, just inside there. But nothing yet. Nothing yet. Close, but no bite here on Solana. So let me just walk us back and since we're doing it, let's do it thoroughly. I already covered the bear divs in here on Ethereum, so we know that. Yeah, yeah. There is zero coiling in here on ETH. Zero. Um, and Bitcoin had that's nothing. What it had was from yesterday, and that's done. And yesterday it was this right here, which technically we're still holding above. Uh, it's coming from a 4 hour, so that makes a difference. This was all we had yesterday, and that wasn't much. So we don't have anything in here. Yep. So nothing. All right. I was working on some charts to post in here. These are gonna be stock related in here. But let me jump over to gold a little bit before I do anything else. So gold is gonna be much more friendly to us if we zoom out. So 4 hour time frame is what I'm working off of here with gold right now. We talked about this right here. We also looked at on Saturday when I did my stream on Saturday, the level that I took my long entry from was shared on Saturday. I took two. Initially, I took the one from, I think it was, might have been the candle over here because not there. Let me go back. Taking this back. Way back. Let's see. Yeah, it's this one. Because that's Saturday. Not Saturday, but Friday. Yeah, Saturday. No, Saturday. I discussed it on Saturday. I discussed it on Saturday, but I took a long in here because we were around the VWAP on Friday. We were around the VWAP, so I took a long. But when markets opened back up, yeah, this this became nothing, a nothing burger in here. Make sure. Yep, became a nothing burger and we continued to roll down. But what I mentioned to you was a potential for a long position here off of that four. It was 44.70. That's what I set my limit long up for. I actually forgot that I set the limit long for it. I woke up and I was like, when did I enter a position on gold? And honestly, I was like, did I have some wine? And it's like, no, you didn't have any wine. And but luckily it worked out because there was no stop loss or anything set in place. And I actually meant to cancel just because the market was closed, but I forgot that I had the limit position set up in case price came down to here. But so far it has worked out for me. I'm still holding that long position. I'm currently um up. And it's been wishy-washy a little bit, but and I don't usually stream on Saturdays, but um I was home and I was like, hmm, market's falling. Let me just be a participant, and just get some information out there to anybody who is concerned. And so I don't know what happened with that. That's kind of weird. I guess my stream stuff is running behind or something. I'm gonna delete it and I'll give it another shot. I don't know. I refreshed this. Refresh this stuff. I'm still having problems. I don't know. I'm up about currently with the little small little flavor and price action about 95% up on it for now. For now, but this is if you need to know, this is I think it's a monthly session here. So a monthly VWAP that I'm using down here for gold. And so that was the long entry given right here. Right here. And you can see right here on the 15-minute time frame that we're starting to lose a little bit of steam here to the upside, but this still looks pretty fine in my opinion. If anything, it'll probably create some bullish divergence. We'll see on that. I don't have any issues really right now with that 15-minute time frame. No real issues with the 1 hour time frame either, other than looking at the fact that the pattern is, a little bit wedgy. That's about the only thing right here. It is a little bit wedgy. Um, Again, like I said, it's Tuesday, so we'll see how that goes. I need to update the daily. Oh, I think I already have it set. I can take this away. Yeah, I already have it set. Monthly, you do not do anything. I already have it set. Yeah, just the pattern looks a little wedgy in here, so that's it. If it breaks down, maybe it'll stop me out and take back a little gains or something like that. As I haven't taken any profits off of it just yet, I should probably actually lock something in. I'm trying to be greedy, and greed is never the answer. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock in partial profits on it. There, I went ahead and locked in some partial profits. Let's not be ridiculous. My stop loss was in place though, but I had not locked in any profits on it. So now I'm locked in. just in case that. Then I can add it back in if it makes sense. But we are losing a little bit of steam in here. I can see it on all three. Not confirmed just yet, but can see it on all three. The other thing that I liked in here on this 4 hour time frame is our EMA down here. This particular one right here. A lot of time price action will just come back into the pocket here of the 2 and 4. And that's what we did on gold. We also did that on silver as well. I did say I think on silver I was looking at about a $66 drop. I don't think that we actually hit 66 on silver though. Um, no, that's copper. Oh, this is silver chart. I'm sorry. This is silver. Let me go to gold. There we go on gold right here. So gold was, yeah, same thing, same situation on gold. You know, you fall in here at 400. You know, be fire. At 400 can be fire. But we started hitting resistance right here. I did see this morning, and I did not TP there then. But now that I'm streaming, it just be responsible, I suppose. um, but yeah, hitting a little bit of resistance in here. We get above this, and we could start to flip these ribbons. I still am under the impression that gold has top, though. I'm still under that impression. Now, can it still push up higher? It can still come up here and take out this high, but it'll do it with some bear divs. And then that might be a short position to take in here. But I feel like it has topped. I covered that from looking at the monthly time frame on it, and I just feel like it has topped. So we'll chop around this area for a bit because you know had some hot steam on that RSI on that monthly time frame. I think it was clocking around like a 99, 90, like high 98, some crap like that. So it just goes to show how much strength gold has. That's basically it. Not overbought or anything like that. Just a lot of participation basically. So this relative strength index is what it is, not relative divergence. It's not relative overbought. It's relative strength. um, so yeah, we are hitting a little bit of resistance in here. But if we come back down in here, really like to see us maintain above this 200 EMA in here. That's currently sitting at 46.89. So I'd like to see that hold. We can do that. But here on silver, you just saw that with silver, you know, it's hitting a little bit of resistance right here at this prior momentum line in here. Now, this was the first place I was looking for, I think, for silver to hold was right about in here. And we came down, we hit this support level in here, just so happened to line up with that 120 right there. But we didn't continue to spill over. I was like, okay, well, we do have a little bit of that gap left, but we absolutely nuked straight through that gap all the way down into here. And I think with silver, what I said 66. We didn't quite make it down there to that 66, which is cool because back over here, when I was looking at it for silver, and yeah, I was looking here like, okay, well, maybe, you know, maybe silver with the aggressiveness of probably drop down here into the 66. It didn't get there. It stopped right here, which is good. But I also didn't pay attention to the EMAs. I suppose now I know because I'm not really used to diving into metals, but whatever. I guess you know how we compare Ethereum to Bitcoin, and so when the dominance on Bitcoin in whatever direction it is, you know, it's gonna sell more if we're going down on Ethereum if Bitcoin dominance is up. So that's the way I have to start looking at silver. Just a little bit more than whatever gold is doing. But copper was the one that was actually doing pretty well. So um, I would still keep. No, I don't think you need to go as far as 66 now. Not with this. You can still bear that number in mind just in case, but um, really don't want to. Well, we're still up under that 200 EMA, so that VWAP is at 81. So we're looking at trying to hold the high over here, it looks like, on any sort of a pullback. I guess that'll be our thing. I just go ahead and drop a little line in here for this area. and then we'll see. But right now, we are hitting this momentum line right here. It's a little bit of resistance. Get above that, then I'd just be looking back up to this area right here, uh, around about $93, 94, somewhere right in here. That's the next level of resistance. I do need to update the daily level in here though. I can see. Our daily candle. Okay, so that's where we're at. Yeah. So definitely be looking for that to be resistance if we can get above this point right here, get above this trend line right here, this momentum line right here. We'll get above that, then maybe it'll just come back into here. And then, oof, that's rough. That's rough. What a fall. What a fall. Copper, like I said, was performing way better for whatever reason. For whatever reason, copper's being a beast right now. Copper is being a beast right now. I don't know why I don't have a low in here. Do I have a low in here? I do. Yeah, copper's being a beast right now. Like not even doing half of what gold and silver is doing right now. It's outperforming both of them. Gold, silver, and platinum. So yeah, I mean looking good right now. All things ready to go over here. I think yeah, this looks mighty. This looks mighty. As we'll see how resistance goes in here. No real strength on the move right now, but nonetheless, yeah, copper. Yeah, no actual breakout strength coming in just yet, but copper looks really nice. It looks mean. You see, we still read bearish over here on silver. We're trying to get somewhere. Then we're still just a bit neutral in here on gold. See, that green kind of makes me want to be greedy. Makes you want to be greedy. Like, what? Why did I take profit already? Need to. But we are still at some resistance in here. We are still at a little bit of resistance from these prior highs over here for copper. Platinum, it's another one. It's really not all that. Yeah, I don't really feel that way about this one. Let me get rid of these background. I'm sure this probably did the same thing. No, okay, it actually nuked it below here. It's crazy. All right, let's see on the 35. All right, so just gathering back up above here, basically above that momentum line there. So I'll be looking forward to hold this now that it has bounced back up above it. Also had a 60. right here as well. Just a little overshoot right here um, for platinum. And platinum would need to get back above it's 23.84 in here. Would need to get back above here. And as soon as you do that, you're going to run into some resistance through here. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, if it gets back above here, then glory days. I don't think this one got as extended. Um, but let's see. A little bit of bullish divvy. A little bit of bullish divergence in here as well off of those two lows in here, the bear div in here. So when it comes back up, possibly look to a lot of times when I see that you have a bear div like that and you coming back up, it's a golden pocket, 786 back test and then continuation down. So we can be looking at that. That, yeah, that could be the case here for platinum. It just comes up and does that. Let's see right in here. And then it wants to drop and maybe come down into here. Maybe some sort of I really wouldn't classify it as a head and shoulders or anything like that, but possibly do something like that. Maybe even push up a little bit higher in here, maybe to 786. Um, but that usually follows behind a pushback into um, golden pocket and then a continuation to the downside. Let's see. It would make sense with these highs over here. It's prior resistance. Made me think like make sure we didn't have that here. We did it. We did, but yeah, I mean, you know what to look for with the invalidation. Yeah, I don't really have anything else on these right here. I was actually working on some new charts that I haven't gotten into before. Let me just check back on Bitcoin, see what we look like while I'm talking to. I don't want to miss out on what we got going on with Bitcoin. Nothing right now. Cloud still rising. Price is still sideways. There hasn't really done anything. But I started working on some new stuff. I just posted on one chart in here already. I started working on this one right here before I decided to go live. This is Caterpillar's chart right here. Caterpillar is looking a little bit toppy right in here. Now, if it does push up, I would expect to see some sort of a rejection around this 708 here, maybe even getting back into this trend line right here along with it. But it is a bit toppy in here, and I look for a correction to come in here on Caterpillar. I was trying to figure out like the rest of what I wanted to do in terms of drawing out lines everywhere. Drawing out lines. I'm really more so focused on the possibility of this right here for Caterpillar. But if that doesn't take place, then I mean, the next thing would be to just kind of look for a breakdown back below here, back below this little peak over here, something like that, and then follow behind that with the break below this momentum line through here. Let me see, let me see. Maybe I should draw it like that instead. Let me just fade it out because it's not a macro line. This is going to be your macro trend line right here. So if it does, I would be looking for a move back down into here for Caterpillar. Not saying that that's gonna happen because Caterpillar, how did I mark you out? Caterpillar. Okay. So I marked, let's see. Yeah, cyclical. So they tend to, price action tends to fall during a recession. And if we're in one, then Caterpillar should start to roll over, right? So yeah, so a stock like Caterpillar is sensitive to economic growth. So we will start to look for this, and you can see that we've had some good numbers here this week, and I think last week as well we had some pretty decent numbers. So that could be the case right here for Caterpillar. Something to watch out for if you're looking for some stocks to get into. Put this on my radar. I'm gonna draw a line right here. Actually, let me just stick with this same line right here. Just set it like that. Yeah, but this thing looks like it's coming in hot. It's coming in very hot, very hot. And I will be looking for that potential move down to here on Caterpillar. I need to post this, but I'm gonna take a minute before I come up with my words. And then I just finished mapping out AA Alcoa. I guess I'm pronouncing it right. I have no idea what this thing is. I know it's aluminum. I know it has to do with aluminum. Yeah, they're aluminum producer. But anyway, it had like this head and shoulder formation in here. So you can see that. And then you can see how it did get a break below this neckline in here. I put in the measured target in here. Probably, I really won't be able to fade this out. But don't worry about that. This is the measure move for it. Now, while the head and shoulder has not been invalidated, for this particular stock. One thing to note is that price action came back above the neckline in here. Now, it doesn't become invalidated until price gets above the right shoulder in here, but this does indicate some weakness in the potential for this head and shoulders to play out since it did break back above the neckline. You don't want to see that. If you break the neckline, at best, you come back and you back test that neckline, and then you get that continuation down, which is why a lot of pattern traders will wait for the back test. And then what happens now is that it starts to form this falling wedgie structure in here, and it has bullish divergence right here as well. So I noted the bullish divergence right here between this low and this low right here. So you can see that bull did right here, and you can see the bear did that it had prior. Now this pattern looks very corrective, and this falls into that same category. However, there is a major need for aluminum. So um, I don't think you're going to get the same result out of this. That's what I'm looking at for Caterpillar. So this, I'm gonna have to set it like this now. This does look very corrective. It's already, you already got the cross up right here. You got the signal change in here. The bullish divergence was one thing also. Um, and you already had the back test, which, was a strong bounce point because you got the pivot here that connects this bottom line. And all it did was come back down here and back test this pivot, this momentum line again and held with that bullish divergence. So I'd be looking for this to continue up. I would. Now, you can it is at some resistance. I also noted that in the post that I did. This area right here is still some major resistance for it. And I pulled this from think I was using like a monthly, maybe let me see, maybe a 3-month time frame or 6 month, 6 month. I looked at both monthly time frame. We just say the monthly time frame. I looked at it on the monthly time frame. It is still at some major resistance right here, but a break out of here and it might be gone. Now you can see how it did reject the first time right here. It did reject right here off of this prior momentum line that it had coming up through here. It did get that rejection there. So at best, it could be a failed breakout, but it looks really nice. It looks really nice. I'm not gonna lie, it looks really nice. Now let me just go ahead and do this for myself because I don't want this to travel. Um, group all of this TA. I think he's supposed to be in there too. Yeah. Let me turn that off for a sec. And hold on. I don't want those in there. Take that out. I do want the arrow in there. Hold on. Get in here, arrow. So here on the monthly, you can see what I'm looking at on the monthly. You can see that little top and tail candle right there. It can be invalidated. That top and tail would be the top side of that head and shoulders. That would get. I think that that would be the top side of that. Yeah, that would be the top side of that head and shoulder right there. That can be invalidated, but like I said, it is at some resistance right here. So you can see this resistance right here that it's reacting around. So it's still resistance, and the head and shoulder is still technically valid. It's just showing some weakness, and then you have that bullish divergence and you have that now potential falling pizza pattern there. But if it gets back above, let me see what I got in here. Um, you also got some, some major resistance off of this line right here as well, with the 62, 82 is located at. I just feel like they want to send it. That's what I feel like. I feel like they want to send it. But just bear in mind that it is, it's still resistance. The head and shoulder still isn't invalidated, but it is showing some strength. It is showing some strength. I haven't considered buying this one myself because it is a very volatile stock. I haven't considered buying it myself, but I know that there is a need right now. You know, it's being used for everything, and I mean, these some nice little green candles in here despite that little top and tail candle right there. I didn't see anything else that really posed a threat to me, and that's just based on the technicals. But oh, that's so choppy. Let me change that. I mean, it can fall through it can fall through these moving averages. Sometimes they're good for you, sometimes they're not. Right now, they line up and could start fanning out and seeing a continuation up and on price action. But yeah, really, yeah, this still looks decent. It still looks decent. Still looks decent. But I was working on this one right here. Um, and that's as far as I had got. The And you can see that right there. Caterpillar. What I'm looking at for Caterpillar. Caterpillar looks really nice through here. So I'm not looking for a big breakdown on Caterpillar. You can see that this is very strong, straight up in the air. But it is very extended, very, very, very much extended. It doesn't, and extensions don't mean anything except for there's a lot of strength coming into the market, blah 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 blah. But it looks toppy at the same time. It just looks very toppy here at the same time. So nothing major in terms of the pullback on it, but I do think that a correction is coming in here for coming in here for Caterpillar. Beautiful regression line down here across the low. So I had not quite finished up my analysis in here on it. All right, let me see. And I think the last one I had in here that I needed to work on, like, is FedEx, actually, FedEx logistics, you know. Um, so while I'm here, uh, and I got my eyes on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold at the same time. I'm gonna have to go through and fix these lines and whatnot, but I'm gonna get started uh, with this. Get started with it. Just really don't need any. I don't need all of these, but I like to at least get two in. Get myself two in. I'm not gonna need that one anytime soon, so I'm gonna drop it so it just makes everything a little bit more easier to understand through here. I don't think FedEx really falls that much. Let me just see. Uh-oh. 618 potential. Take this one away. Onto the one I don't really need that one. And that is, if this is the case here, for that, break right there, just into 618. Um, I have to zoom out and make some corrections. I don't think I really have to make an adjustment on that and put it on 24. I would make it a lot easier on myself. That's pretty decent. That's cricket. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this looks really nice. Looks really, really, really nice. So I would look for this to continue. Otherwise, gets rejection from in here. Then look for it to come back and see if it won't hold some support back around this this zone right here, that trend line right there for FedEx. Looks really nice and strong. You can put a trend line up to here if you wanted to, or just use EMAs at this point. But this looks really good. Let me go ahead and lock this in, and then I will post on this later as well. Let me take the raise out. Let's do this part. I mean, no sense trying to. Yeah, it will. Um, we will see a little bit of exhaustion here soon, and it probably will come in right here at this top because I can see it. A little bit of exhaustion. Um, Again, I wouldn't expect too much out of that, and possible continuation up on it. Looks really good. FedEx. I think that was it in terms of those. Only had three in here. Then I started looking at some of these in here. Gold we've already looked at. Exxon was killing it, and we did look at Exxon a little bit as well. But let me switch over and finish my analysis out on these. Then these are things that I will post up on later. Let me go on a monthly. Um, uh, mm, mm, this is Newmont Corporation. It's a gold miner company. And it doesn't seem to be really stopping over here. Um, let's see what we got. Mhm. Really just got straight up in the air. Yeah, we really just got straight up in the air. Nothing really to analyze, at least not from this monthly time frame. See, 6 months. Not going to be much of a difference. Turn that off. Yeah, I don't really see anything. Let's see. Um, it's already broken up through this. If this was something, yeah, and even if I tried to change it, it wouldn't make sense. Let's see if I take out that wick there. Yeah, I really still don't got much, even if I take out this wick. Um, I guess, I mean, since you can look for it to push back into this trend line in here. And then I'm going to just do an extended one right here, just up there. And so yeah, maybe look for a move back into that line right there. In terms of resistance, very wicky, very wicky. I'm just trying to see how this did before with that. I didn't look at it already. Let's see. Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps at best in this one. We can come back to something like that. About this point right here, especially if gold is gonna start to make some sort of a failed move. I'm not gonna go in and adjust the lines more. I'll see if there's a need for me to. There may be on extended hours, but just here, I'm gonna work with it like it is, like this. Up pre-market again. It's up pre-market. I would look for it to get back into here. Maybe look for a rejection off of that, unless I'm missing something here with gold. It should be reacting pretty much the same. Maybe come back down into here. Maybe even this little liquidity down through here. Um, let's see. It looked like it just bounced too. Like it just bounced off of that trend line right there. Just got that bounce. So let's save this as our breaking point. Just want to make sure. I'm gonna put this on 24. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, 24. You won't see it as a support level. Um, so for that reason, I might need to drop it on the daily. Um, does it read like that was the support level right there? It's up to you how you utilize the chart. I tend to look at the extended hour stuff um, as well. But if you're um, not reviewing the extended hours, then this wasn't broken. And it's not going to read that way if you put it on a line graph. On a line graph, you get the same results in terms of. Let me just do it. Yeah, I'll do it. You get the same results of support holding. Yeah, this is the. Let's see, the yeah, you get the same results of it holding. Um, I guess I'll just leave it like that. I'll be looking for price action to come back down, I guess. Maybe it gets into here or it just starts to break here. Now I look for price action to come down into here. And this one, let's see. I'll probably just hit like a, okay. And it's starting to, yeah, not, let's see, weekly. Oh, yeah, and see, it was outside of 3 too. You know the rule, outside of 3, short is the place to be. Or if it comes back, it might maintain that 88 too. But anyway, it'd be inside this fair value gap. There's something to look for here on this gold mining company here in the mount. Let's see. I think I will lock this in if I need to look at something else on it later. I will lock that in and then I'll look back at it to see what the probabilities more likely are. Bear dip here on this high. Bullish divergence will come in. Nothing yet. No bullish divergence just yet, but bullish divergence will come in. We did have that one little bit right here, this low, but to be expected here off this weekly time frame, monthly time frame. Nope, no bullish divergence. I mean, no bearish divergence here on this monthly time frame. Still looking crazy. Daily. No full steam ahead on the short though. Not yet. Not yet. No full steam ahead on the short. It's starting to come up a little bit in here. So whatever we're doing pre-market that might puke. But there's that same little piece of bullish divergence here as we were getting that bounce off of that trend line. So start to break below that. Again, I just kind of look down here. Let's see. You can see where the momentum broke also through here. I'll try it from here like that. It just tapped down below that too. It just did it. So yeah, possible continuation to the downside here to look out for. By the way, that's gonna be what we got here from the month. Gold. We already have analysis on gold. I don't need to do gold. We looked at Exxon yesterday. We talked about this ascending channel formation in here on it. We moved down to a 4 hour time frame in here. So we are getting that little bit of a bounce in here off of this. Should I adjust this? I didn't adjust this. I think I drew this off of, I draw it off the 24 hour. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna fix it for this daily just because I'm a little, I don't know, funny about trend lines. Wasn't much to straighten out there. And then I don't know if I want to move this. I'm gonna leave that top line like it is. It makes more sense. So I just leave that alone. Let me see if I changed it. Okay, it didn't really make a difference. So cool with that. You can look at this like a pitchfork too if you want. But it is just kind of moving in between here. And the reason why is because if you look at the Bollinger Band on the 24 hour, it's moving inside standard deviation 1 and 2. And that's all this right here is reiterating that it's moving within the pocket of the Bollinger. So any break further up here, it would be extended. We'll be looking to short it outside of this trend line up here. So same thing. And then break to the downside, be looking for some sort of support around here. This looks pretty decent. See what we got. We do have some bear divs in here. It doesn't really mean too much to be honest. Just depends on where the bearish divergence is happening from. And I don't really have a strong opinion from that. Don't really have a strong opinion from this chop in here either. Um, this straight up broke up from a wedge formation. I believe that's what it was. Some sort of a wedge pattern in here, I think. So I can find that and just kind of map out the measured move on it. Mm, it's not looking the cleanest. I was thinking that that was right in there. I can't get a clean read off of it. I'm not gonna pretend like I can. I really can't get a clean read off of this. This might still be losing some steam. might it's not the cleanest regression line, but I think that this could still be losing a little steam to the upside here. I'm gonna use this line right here though. It's a place to come back to look at it. But it could potentially be losing some steam through here. I'm looking for a break below that trend line in here. If we zoom out to a lower time frame. Otherwise, what would it come back to? Um, this little break that it got there could be a nothing burger. Can look for it to come back to this line right here and back test it if if it breaks the lower side of the channel, which I think that it will. If the steam is being lost here on the weekly time frame, then look for a larger correction than just the lower time frame. So possibly back into here, or actually falling back inside of this structure, whatever this structure was through here. I don't really have a clean line to draw, so maybe that was it. Not like that. So maybe that was it. This pattern right through here. Even though it doesn't line up when I do it like this, I think that that might have been my region to draw the line from anyway. Um, because it worked in that sense. Worked like that. So I think that that is correct. Correct. I'm just going to use this line graph. Let's use the line graph altogether. It looks sloppy on a lower time frame, but I know that it's coming from here. So I look for a break back down. You know what? Because I know it's going to look sloppy. Trying to. All right. Let's see. Daily. Sorry. Once I move down to a lower time frame, it just changes the way everything looks in terms of the trend lines. Okay. Yeah, I think that that makes sense. This is a minor trend line. I'm just going to change the color on that. Move down, back down to the 4 hour. Yeah. just looking to break down. So yeah, I mean, as far as the 4 hour time frame is concerned, it looks like it's losing steam here with this been holding into this range right here, and I will look for it to drop down. First place, that lines up really good right there too. So first thing will be here, and then you start to zoom out and look at your higher time frame if you fall back inside of here, or possibly coming back down here towards this trend line right here. So momentum line right there for XR. Let's see anything else in here. Let me make sure. Yeah, steam definitely being lost here as far as you can tell from this time frame right here. Dun, 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 dun. Very extended here on the weekly time frame. Very extended. And let's see EMAs. Like what? Yeah. Yeah. I think we own to something. I think we might be on to something. So first momentum break. We're cross right in here too. 10 and 5 so far, but nonetheless, it tends to lead to something. So I think it's going to lead to breaking below this line right here and then coming back down here at least. And then possibly falling back in. And like I said, look there. This looks like it lines up with this 200, but yeah, 4 is in here. Well, actually, I don't have the correct Bollinger on to talk about a 4. That's Exxon. Let's move forward. Chevron. I've never looked at Chevron. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold are all still doing nothing. It's still at the same spot, the exact same. Actually, let me refresh this because sometimes I don't see the update on Blockchain. So let me just make sure. I might have did something different and it did. Nope, it's the same. It's the same. All right. Oof. Jeez. Jeez. That was a beautiful, nice breakout pattern right there. Oh yeah. Let's see something. Come back and listen. But that doesn't really matter anyway. Could be. Um, looks like it might have. that first candle is a little bit too strong to be saying it's about to break down from here, but it's possible. Could be a bear div. No, not really. Yeah, it's not a bear div. I think this continues though. That looks progressive. Looks really progressive. It looks like garbage. Looks correct. Let's just go off of this low. It's my desperate attempt. Oh, wrong thing. But my desperate attempt. I do need one in this case. Don't really see how it could be anything more. Just to give me a line. Anyway, that's just to give me a line. Um, mm, mm, mm. You can look at where it is in terms of being extended. This looks like it's trying to expand out. I see what I'm seeing. It is hitting a little bit of resistance with this attempt right here, but it looks like it's trying to get an expansion, which would validate the continuation for this thing to go up here. Chevron at least to continue up and probably hit that target. It's not the strongest push to the upside, but it's definitely trying to expand. You can tell it was going to have a little bit of an issue once it got here, just because the Bollinger was sitting up higher than, so it didn't have that initial, how you making a fist, it didn't have the claws turned in. So the compression wasn't there. So you can tell that it would have some sort of like a swing fail on the first attempt, but we'll see. If this wants to continue to push out, it would be expanding if it continues, but it does have to has to break back above the standard two. Maybe the first move fails and then it tries again. Something to look for on Exxon or Chevron. Something to look for on Chevron. Nothing like a failed attempt. Monthly reads that way. So that could take some time. Yeah, it's expanding over here. It's expanding right here. Still not the strongest expansion, but it's still expanding. And tell you the truth, I really don't like drawing my lines sideways either. I really prefer my line be straight. Even if I did it like this off the low to But that high, let me see what sense that makes because I hate a slanted line or any pattern breakout. I really do. So I'm trying to be extra perfect. Oh, it's still the same. It's still the same. Okay. It's still the same. I don't like the sideways line. It's a 84 point. No, I don't think that that's gonna come out. Let me see. I don't know if I can trust it when I move it. I'm being a weirdo. Yeah, okay, it will still be 84.91% of a move. Hey, that's good. That made me wanna buy some, if you wanna buy some. Mm, I like it. I like it. If it's possible, I definitely wanna lock it in. So, let me just be extra with the lines. I like that. Let's do it. Did not require much, or did it? Chevron. So we're looking for a move up. Chevron at least about 84.91% pump to the upside. Let's get it. We got here. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. All right, so I know that it's natural gas uh, exporter. I'm on a weekly time frame. So big reclaim. Is that a reclaim? I don't know if I like that. There we go. Something like that. See on the monthly. Don't take my trend line away. Anything special on the monthly? Nothing really. Pre-market 7. It's the same price as it was yesterday. No sense in drawing anything down here because I don't think that it comes back down here towards that. At least not in the moment. I don't see that happening. If we get this, it did kind of hold up on that trend line right there, but I don't think that this is relevant. So I'm not going to focus on that. What's this more of? Um, and that shit was perfect. It's part of my language. Part of my language. That was perfect. It was perfect right here too. I can tell on that one right there. Mhm. But that hindsight would just, lead it back to this trend line right here now. So it did get a breakout. So that was, a thing. And even if I had to move this here, when it got that breakout, let me see if it met it already. You can go from the outside in also. Not, hold on, let me see. Switch the line. Mhm. And let's just say the first breakout was incorrect. I think that's about right. Yeah, it met that measured move right there. So that test, possible continuation. If it does continue up, from that, then I look for it to do another one, another target at the about the same height, something like that, and come up here to about 308. If it does, if this was indicating that it was holding this back test from the breakout, come back and then try for another pushback to the upside. Um, I don't think that this is gonna. Let's see. No, this doesn't. Yeah, let's see if I change it. I hate to force something to make sense. Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to force it right now. That's what I would look for if it is going to continue. Maybe it comes up, and then it hits about that 308 on a new attempt. Um, and since I took that from, yeah, let me see. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm sorry. I just want to see on the time frame. I can actually see the price action. Let's see if I did. Um, mhm. That was that first measured move. It's about right there. And then if we're getting another one, then that's going to be like that. We'll do it that way. I think I grabbed the low correctly. If I didn't, let me adjust that. Hold on. Sorry. All right. I'm making it hard for myself. I'm sorry. I think that this low was just a tiny bit lower. And then this high is like this. And it looks crooked. And that's going to buck the shit out of me. It's not crooked. I think it's just because I have this line through here that's making it look crooked. Yeah, but that gives the measured targets, make it a little bit more defined. Can, you know what? Because that doesn't give you any numbers. This can give you some numbers. If I'm on that correct level. I'm so extra sometimes. I really am. I'm sorry. Um, Mm-mm. You don't want that one, all that messy. This one, here we go. I don't need the center. And then that gives you targets right here. So this was the first one. And then the second one would be up here about 305. So yeah, 305, if it, if this was just a back test and then it's going to look for a continuation, get above that 243, then I'd be looking up here towards 205. That makes it easier than the lines that I drew on it. Yeah, that makes it a lot easier than the lines I drew. And I'm going to have to, I just got to, that's going to irritate the crap out of me. A little bit it is. I think that's right. I think it's right. Right. I'm gonna go back and redo this. It looks a little weird for me right now. I think it's because I got these. You know what it is? You know what? I think that's what's bothering me. I don't know if it wants to let me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That that helped me a lot. Sorry. It's just the way I am. It's just the way I am. Now I just need to get rid of the long line. Not doing that. And then use this one and this. All right. Voila. Voila. Jeez. All right. Could be a good one. Now I add some notes to it later. And you know what I didn't look at? I didn't look at indicators on this stuff. So let me just back it up. Let me get that off. No, I looked at the Bollinger and we said that it does have that expansion. No, that was another chart. Okay. Um, I did not look to see. It's 24. Let me look at a weekly. Something better. Okay. So this does look. See, it ended up getting a bullish divergence simply because it's mm, very high. Little correction right here. Um, no bear divs in there. No bear divs in there. Just showed that it was corrective. It did that. Flipped in here. Okay. A little pause for concern. Not getting above the 20 SMA right there. So I do need to take that logic into consideration because it's not getting above the 20 SMA right now. It's not getting above the mean in here either. So it's holding below the mean. But that would be a breakout point for it if it's going to happen. You would see price action get above the means in here, which is not taking place. No actual aggression in here. It does read neutral, so no actual aggression in here between either side. Just sideways price action movement. I guess the invalidation would be, breaking below here. It did a back test, so I guess breaking below here, and we just consider this as done. Um, Outside of that, yeah, just need to see the continuation so you can see the mean stop out right here. Do want to see it right? You can see it right here also. So in regards to that, just if we're looking at, uh, oh yeah, 200 is right here on this bottom trend line. It should not be. Yeah, you see the resistance being hit right here also, around. Um, Around at 60 and at 26. So yeah, this is where, I mean, you can see from all of the indicators that price action has to break above this point right here. That'll put it above the mean, that'll put it out of neutral, and that'll be the point where we actually see it attempt to come back up here. Even when with the you can see with the SMA as well, that's hitting the 20 SMA right here. Look for some additional potential resistance there around 2281. And let me see right here. Yeah, around 20. What did I say? 2281? 20, yeah. I'm sorry, 222, 223. That's two. That's showing that 222, 223. This is also showing that 222, 223 right here. So 223 right here. For some resistance right there. So I guess if it's getting a lower high, um, let's just let it be known. Suppose if it's going to get that lower high, I'm just going to change the style on this to separate them. I guess it will be right there. Need to see price action above this target right here though, and it's going to have a lot of resistance to face. Needs to be above that. And this is about what we were looking at, that next level of resistance coming in. I don't think this one is worth it. It's not worth the headache. Definitely cannot say that this is worth the headache. Yeah, it's not worth the headache. But anyway, let's see. Sorry. I'm so sorry, so sorry, so sorry. I see Jasmine, I see Peace. And um, oh, and thank you for the compliment. Thank you so much, Acts 2:21. I'll take a look at Jasmine for you. If you're still here, let me not do it on that chart right there. Let me come back over here to Solana. But I hope you're getting some helpful insight on how I do, some, basic analysis and stuff like that. It's really good to get out on your higher time frames and then start to zoom in on your lower time frames. I don't think I have Jasmine in here, so let me go with my next chart, I suppose. Spot. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Go look here on the monthly time frame. I haven't looked at Jasmine in a minute. It's been a very long time since I looked at Jasmine. This stuff is so old. Nothing has changed. It's so weird. It's a huge way to the upside. And it's the October 10th disaster. Let me drop. Um, yeah, Jasmine. I don't even know how it got this big pump over here, to be honest with you. I can't even understand how that even happened. Um, wow, wow. That's a monthly time. Let me push. I don't know. Get rid of um, that. It's gonna. I could see it from the monthly when I was just looking at it too, but it's gonna be a bear deal for starters. I can see the attempted expansion. Let's see, let me keep it to this. Kind of break up, back testing it now with some bullish divergence in here. It looked like when I was just looking at this monthly time frame, you can see this right here. Like it's trying to come up to standard deviation one in here. Maybe it gets in here to the 20 SMA. 20 SMA in here right now on this monthly. Uh, 20 SMA is right here at these lows in here. Uh, minus that. Let's see. It gets into. Let's go with this lower. I'm sure I have a target. This the target number. It's got to turn. I might get back into that. Let me see what we had. Um, I'll turn this back on. I just want to see what number came up close to that. So, 17, 0.1736 potentially. This is going to change over time. Um, might be able to do that. Crazy how nothing has really changed in here for Jasmine. Um, yeah, it looked like it's holding. You just got a break above and a failed swing pattern right there initially, but this looks pretty decent in here, like it's about to get a squeeze breakout to the upside. I just really wouldn't expect too much. Maybe just back here into these lows right here. That looks about like all it's gonna manage to get done. Um, it's definitely got some pressure in here. It is about to break out. Bears have this time frame. This is your weekly time frame, and bears have it under Rhapsodies, but not a lot of selling pressure. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I think your low is reached. I think the low is reached. You look for a move back up. You know you're gonna have a hassle right here, getting back, trying to get above this level right here. That's currently around your 0.00883 to your zero point zero 0.01. But if it's getting an expansion, so a squeeze breakout to the upside, that should be easy. Shouldn't be as difficult to get up here to this level right here. I don't see it doing more than that though, but that is it's a good place to start. Let's see if I do this. It may have held on the, no, I didn't hold on it when it did that. Let's see. Yeah, just from the RSI is the only way I can tell you that it actually holding that low with the bullish divergence and the squeeze on it and the breakout. I mean, that's really it for Jasmine. Coming back up here into this resistance, getting above this resistance and getting there. Let me see if the squeeze shows up in here as well on the Bollinger. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So, maybe a little bit more sidewaysy first. Then I look for that break to the upside. It looks very doable. We push on the daily time frame. Yeah, again on the daily time frame, pressure is cooling off. Let me just block this. The daily doesn't read anything different in my opinion. That looks corrective. Feeling pressure cooling off. Yeah, I mean that's it. I don't really see anything different for what I saw on the higher time frame here for Jasmine. I think that that's a good place to have gotten in that on that little pullback right there. That little pullback that happened right there. Um, Seems to have been a good place to get in at. Every time frame so far lines up with that here on RSI, trend regression line, break there. Yeah, break. Uh, yeah, bullish divergence here on this time frame as well through this move right here to the downside. So yeah, that was your low, and I look for price action to get up there. As far as let's see, some sort of momentum confirmation or something like that over here. Let me start with this right here first. That's pretty decent. Still, yeah, the bullish divergence came in from this entire push down here below the cloud. Started out with these bear divs, Continuous bear divs. Bear divs. No, not right there. No bear div on that one. Right. Push up. Mm. Yeah, if you bought down here, you're good. I wouldn't jump in here. If you do, you're probably gonna stall out here first, at least according to this 4-hour time frame. You probably stall out here around this 0.00652 right here because it looks like it'll put in a bear deal between this high and this one over here. But after that, I think that you're good to go to at least get back to here for starters, chop around a bit, and then possibly getting into the 20 SMA. And you would have to follow along with where that's going to be at, because over time that is going to change on you. And that's all I can tell you right now about Jasmine. But that looks definitely corrective. Very, very, very corrective. Let me set it on that. It looks very corrective. What else you want to consider? Let's see if that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that with the line bias instead. So as it is showing that it did get a breakout from the wicks, at least from the wicks in here, no closure above this, and then I think that that's pretty much going to be close proximity to what I was saying before. Uh, where I might run into a little bit of trouble in here. That's it. Let me see. Let me check back on Biddy. Yep, still same situation over here on Bitcoin right now. He says trying to get back in here. It is still bear div right across this top right here. Still putting in the bearish divergence in here. So, and like I said, rising cloud tends to lead to the bearish divergence being formed and be looking for that little push down here. Doesn't mean that it comes down here and takes out this low again. It can still just be putting in a higher low of this low in here, and that'll be an inverse, and then we'd be looking for the breakout. Yeah, it just kind of crapped on us with getting into that liquidity. And we started this stream out yesterday saying, hey, this is what we think is about to happen. We think we're going to go from here to getting into this liquidity. And we stalled out as we came up towards that high. That little peak over here from the weekend. Um, that's what I have on that. So I'm about to do Archer Daniels. You know what? I think I'm going to, let me see. Archer Daniels. What was that? For me, yeah. Sweet. That's wheat. Now, I did see, I don't know that this is the same one. I actually don't think it is. I know that, yeah, this isn't the same one. That's cute. Oh, this might be the same one. I think a couple of days ago, Gareth. No, because this is a monthly time frame, so this isn't the same one right here. This is not the same one. It's had an even faster break from there. I'm looking at it. This one certainly had a faster breakdown across there. Here. just want to ensure that that double top had played out on this. See how well it plays with. Uh, it actually did not play out. Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, oh, shoot. Played out perfectly. Okay. It's like, man, that didn't play out. Yeah, it played out to a T. All right. So I might can work with this. Might be able to work with this. Let me do my little cute stuff in here. My little cute stuff in here. I want to highlight this. I think that that was intricate. I think that that was very, very, very important. So, um, so we can see where that double top took place. The measure move did play out on that double top at the break above, coming back to this neckline right now. But if this wedge here is going to play out, then we would be looking at, I think that that was the high. Let's see, try to get it as good as I can. I think that is, let me make sure I'm on that. All right, so this breakout seems to have happened right there. Dang, that only puts it back towards this low over here. It's not much, but that can still continue. Um, that can still continue. Let me take away these dotted lines. I'm sorry. I never know how I like to post it, how I like for it to look. Sorry. So, even on the inverse, let's see what we get if we got an inverse right here. I just want to see. Um, what an inverse target would look like. Let's see, that was the breakout on the inverse and just take out this liquidity right here. I don't know if I count this right here though. There was weakness in this move to the downside. So I mean maybe it is worth counting, but there was weakness in this move to the downside. There was weakness in this move to the upside, and you can tell it too. And the way you can tell it is the consecutive candles. So you can see right here on the move up, even though you got this nice little candle right here, you can see that it flipped back to red, flipped the green, flipped back to red, flipped the green, flipped back to red. There's no consecutive candles moving in the same direction in here, and that showed a lot of weakness and indecision here on this monthly time frame for this part right here. I guarantee you, if I zoom out, let me see, it's right here. No, it doesn't read indecision right there. Let me see. I do it like this. It's a waste of time for me to do it, but you can see the. No, that was after the fact. It's still. Absolute weakness in that move right there, and then weakness in this move to the downside right here too. You had 0 consecutive reds to the downside, and that's a big clue on, kinda stalling out right there. Uh, so, yeah, they might come back in here for this liquidity right in here. You got these 2 right here, so maybe get into this liquidity right here at, best. Pre-market, it is back down a little bit on this high, um, back testing this high. No, this is too much. After that rejection right here. I'll deal with that one later, just for the sake of pre-market. And let me see. Um, really rather, let me see, 24. Oof, ouch. Ooh, ouch. Ooh, I'm gonna straighten out my lines now. 'Cause that's not gonna sit right with me. You can stay where you're at. This, I need to sharpen up a little bit. Yeah, sharpen that one up, and the other one, I think I can leave that one as it is. It's not actually touching anything, and that's fine. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is though. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill that. That already broke back down below that. So that second one, I'm not gonna focus on that potential inverse head and shoulder formation. But actual projection back here at the neckline of this double bottom is, let's see, all the lights out over here. Good Lord. All the stoplights. All the stoplights are on. Let me refresh this and make sure I'm not losing any insight to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold right now. And I think we're, yeah, still the same. Still the same. New change. Waiting on market to open. Let me put this back on. So, okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. I wish we'd have seen this. I wish I'd have been looking at this before today. Um, hmm, this is still valid though. This is still intact. This measure move over here was met. That was met. God dang, that was so perfect, right? So perfect. If we lucky, I like the price tag on it. I hate to be buying something just because the price tag, right? Buying it because of the price tag. We want to see it hold. If it continues down here, if these highs are not going to work for it, we do want to see it hold here. That would be a break of the momentum here on Archer. It's weak company. It was another weak company though, that was preparing for a breakout, and I think that I know Gareth actually looked at that. It's a little bit too late on this one. Any earnings or anything? Any news? I saw a 31% drop in operating profit. Oh, Q4. Okay. Interesting. And oilseeds due to soybean exports and lower crush margins. Let me see. So something impacted the earnings. I think I need to leave this on for now since I'm over here looking at this. Um, since I'm looking at it, they did falter on something in here. Let me see if it gives me. eh, Okay, 1.88% surprise on revenue. Uh, okay. Uh, well, it was on its way. It was on its way. Um, it's still not very aggressive here. That's still not very aggressive. So, I mean, if it does continue, if it doesn't manage to hold here and it continues, just looking for it to hold in here. If that doesn't hold up for it, then it's very, very possible that it comes back down into here. I haven't drawn any fibs on any of this stuff either. Let me block the TA from the higher time frame. I mean, this doesn't look crazy on the daily though. It doesn't look crazy. A little expansion right here at this point, so I could see that like a little expansion right here, which could lead to, I mean, it's already leading to that correction, but it doesn't look brutal from the monthly time frame. I guess you want to be done with it before it does start to look brutal. Um, Yeah, I just, it does, I mean, yeah, it does. What the hell? I keep forgetting every time I move to the monthly time frame, the chart is completely different from the pre-market data, and I keep missing yeah, keep missing where that line is sitting at. So, yeah, yeah, mm, mm. It was extended anyway. To be honest, it was. It had extended a bit right here anyway, and yeah, when it does extend outside of those bands, it tends to pop back in from the upside. It hasn't really extended too much here. Not right here. Um, it held. So you just treat it like you would a regular Bollinger Band. It held here on the standard one and two. But yeah, I mean, it's not over for this by any means at all. Let's see what you look like here. Yeah, it wasn't about to break out anyway. Well, maybe it was. It came close. That fallen pattern playing out right across here. It was even showing the correction right through here as well. Dang, somebody ruined the party. Somebody ruined the party. Ay 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 ay. What did we tag out here? Let's see. I guess at its best, you don't get a violation of here. It's where the strength came in for anybody who was, momentum trading. It came in right there. so you don't violate that. Um, can also look down here towards that 5690. Um, I know it never did get into getting the deviation outside of here. So yeah, just go with that. Oh, I need to look that. Yeah, that says all I need for it to say right there. Yeah. I look for price to come back towards that 46.81. If it can manage to hold that higher low over here, it's okay. That could be a good place to take long entry from. See if there's any other confluence with that line down there. This, yeah, I mean, there's confluence with this right here. It's gonna put it up under the 200 and put it under the 200. So very important place for price action to really wanna hold. On 60 right now, but yeah, I'll put it under that 200. Let me see. I can't see it from this. Actually, you know what? Mm, okay. Is that right? Yeah, it is. So where is? Oh, okay. I'm like, why is that? Okay, that was confusing the crap out of me. I mean, yeah, it's still the same read though. Mm. All right, so you know where you'd be looking for the most damage to take place at is if it loses this trend line right here, and it is fastly approaching. Vastly approaching this level right here, right now. So, yeah, I mean, full throttle. On the monthly, it was, I think I need to look at the, yeah, I don't think I need to. Yeah, I think that's on point with saying that 4681 right there. Potentially getting back into that 4681. I think that's the most damage you probably get um, out of Archer. It's not I mean, you got a long, it's going to be quite the drop for a stock, but it's not something I can see myself trading. But yeah, that definitely gave up the ghost on that one. See who else we had in here. On the phone. This is I'm sorry. Another. This is a tea company right here. Okay. So, um, like Lipton tea, blah, blah, blah. They got earnings coming up here. Yeah, they have earnings coming up here. So let's get them taken care of since they do have earnings coming up here. See what we can find on this puppy right here, baby. This baby. So, let me just see what happened. Saw what happened first, and then I might be able to see what's happening. So that happened. Health support, assistance, assistance. From that to possibly doing something like this, maybe. Maybe it did something like that. Yeah, that looks like about what it did. But from this, I'll just stick to the actual dilemma here. So apparently, this must have been a bear div. This had to have been a bear div. Not necessarily. Yes, it was a bear div. So it was a bear div. Possible double top off of that bearish divergence in here. Common theme on the bear divs. Let me see. Six one eight. Mm, I don't think you would go into. I'm trying to count that. Um, no. Mhm. Oh, no, let me take that trend line over here right there, though. See. Mm, the initial double top that didn't play out for starters. And then this is likely second coming. Put it back towards this right here. Will be a no. Let's see something that's been this progressive doing something like that at all. So let me just start by saying that. Um, but it can still chop this range. So this doesn't have to be a part of any of it. Let's bring this in a little bit more. The normal 3 month chart. This thing will be way out there. I drop down, but it can still chop this range in here. Um, so range defined. No, it's not gonna make a difference. Okay, never mind. I just don't like how it's sitting right there like that. I can mark the numbers out to the left side, of, right side of the chart though. All right, so yeah, bear div into a double top. Yeah, possibly just range around in here though. If for some for God's sake and reason it was to take a nuke and then it would be coming back down here towards this low, but I really don't see that happening. Whatever we got going on in here in this center part does look bearish still though. It looks like a ascending rising, broadening formation, ascending broadening formation. I'm just gonna post on that. Let's see. Right here. I'm gonna take this line away and focus on drop to a little time frame. This absolutely failed. No, this absolutely failed right here. Right here. Take this from the center. Should I consider this swing fail on it? I think I will. Consider the swing fail on it right there. Do it like that. But then that puts it back inside. Um, yeah, that puts it back inside. And it's already came back inside one time already. So if I authentically go for it, then it does send it back down here. I think it's range bound. I really don't Don't think anything else of it. I think it's range bound. Even if I push out on 24, just looking at that through here. Let me just see. Um, see if it stopped out. No, it didn't. But I think it's range bound, if anything. Um, so firstly, I'll be looking for price to come back down into here. I think it's going to continue down, personally, but yeah, I just stick to the higher time frame. 24 hours suggest correction. Actually, I'm just going to set an alert. Hard to say right now. Set an alert both to the upside and the downside on this right here. Market down. Gaps filled. Yeah, to me, it looks like whatever, if it, yeah, I mean, right now, pre-market is below the low from yesterday. But for any reason, you get an impulsive swing here on this weekly time frame, like it's going to fail on that swing attempt to the upside. So I would really be looking for this to sell off even more than it already has here in the past couple of weeks. Is my take on it. It had been holding these lows down to here, but I still think it's range bound. So I don't think anything with the that target down there would be met for but somewhere like right here to just the range within here that has been doing this forever now. It's been going on since dang on 2017. Yeah, there's no way it's going down there. So yeah, it reached its peak. I look for it to make its way all the way back down here towards this low down here. Yeah, 2017. Oh my gosh. With a double top. Yeah, it's just a range bound chart. Nothing to see here, people. Nothing to see here. And how about that measure move comes down here to the value area low? Yeah, this, yeah, yeah. Mm-mm. Spike is actually right there. Spike right there. high over here. So that's basically what I look for on this one right here. There's no way it's about to break out of here and go berserk. 'Cause if it does push up into here, that'd be a short. In my opinion, that would be a short because the weekly time frames looks like whatever expansion it was to get right here, it would be extended. Let's see, dropped right here. Let me just see. Let me see how the extensions worked prior. Because that didn't really extend. This one didn't. Maybe it did right here. Very little here. A little bit right here. I'll kill it right there. I don't want to do anymore. Over red. Let's see how it did on extensions. Did correct there. It moved up ever so slightly, a little bit more right there before falling down. Played out right there. Played out right there so far. A little bit extra in there, and then right here. That's done. Like it will get extended. So if it does, and I just look for another rejection right there. It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. So core earnings with the bank. Good earnings. Good earnings. What's the good earnings? Or 1, 2, 3, or something else in here, whatever it was. Some constant. That was a core earnings report. That was a good after earnings. Yeah. So yeah, $68, 67. Could take a short on this now and then set a stop loss above it, especially with the earnings getting ready to come out, and look for that move to the downside and then stop and get triggered and you'll be out of it. So you wouldn't have to worry about that. But it's only like $1 off right now. So yeah, could be short on this and then stop loss in here. Maybe just one buck up. So $1 stop loss on it and or 50 cents, whatever is your fancy, and wear this thing down, back down into here, back down towards this 54. It's here right now, so let's see if I thought they was gonna do this. It's not gonna be much of a move on this time frame. It won't be much of a move, but you zoom out to another one. I'm about to adjust this right here too. You zoom out to another one. Let me get the dollars right. Let's see, pre-market it was 68.77. Pre-market 68.77. It might have to stay like that though. Above pre-market like that. So that's a good, pretty decent risk to reward on it where it is pre-market, and then be stopped out in case it does want to get a push up into here. Speaking of which, it looks like we're about to hit target on. We'll look back at it. So we're entering from where exactly where price is at right now. Um, Stop loss just above um, market high from yesterday, just above it, and looking for a continuation down. We know that it's somewhere holding the support in here. So at least it was. Mhm. Let's take this away. If it does break out, then that's something worth revisiting. Or move your stop loss up a little bit higher. Really wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, if price is going down, it's going down. If it's not going down, that little doji candle up there, then it just wasn't right to start with. That's all I think about it. Wasn't right to start with. Speaking of which, before because I think that's the last one I hear. But did you see? Hold on, where were we at? We're here. Did you see Oracle? Right? Because we talked about this on Oracle. So where we at? We almost at that 150 target. Remember, the entire time we was over here, I said, hey, I said, I'm gonna make an attempted long, and I posted on this too. I'm gonna make an attempted long on Oracle because I can see us holding it here. And I took the long and I set my stop loss. So price ended up, I got a little bit of a bounce up, but I was looking for price action to get up towards, I think it was this 238 right here. I was looking for price action to at least, nope, I was looking for price action to get up here to about 256. I was like, maybe we do this first before we finish out this move. Because I see us coming down here to 150. Why? Just based on some unusual volume activity, right? For put all the way down here to the 150. So we had, like, it's not a trade that I was in or anything like that. Um, but I just mapped it out just for the continuation on this move to the downside right here. So we're almost there. And I kept saying to you, even here after the earnings report, that's when, it all went to crap for me on the long position. But it was moving really slow through here. I was like, but it's still the possibility. Like we came down, we ended up holding here around our standard one, but now we've broken below our standard one. So that's going to push us into this 150 that we have been waiting on for several weeks back here, waiting on this 150 to finally get hit. And we're coming into that 150 right now. Now, what happens after this? It could completely just continue, you know, this decimation here down to this one. I really don't like using the 124. I really don't. It's something to look at because we do have these lows over here. So it is still something to look at in regards to that. But outside of that, 67 could be on the table. I'm not going for that right now. I'm still focusing on this 150 target right here. And then we'll see what price action chooses to do from that point. But yeah, it's here. It is here. That thing is happening. It took a long time, but it was something that we had been waiting for here on the channel. The price actually get down to about that point. And let me see. Yeah, I think we're still good there on these. I think we're still good on these. But you can use that 124 if you like because it is, it does relate to this low over here. If anything happens beyond this point right here, a possible bounce through here though, possible bounce, possible. Here on Oracle. Nice regression right here, whatever it was doing right here. It tried to come back up. Yeah, momentum. Tried to push up in here. Price broke down. It tried to reclaim back above that. Failed on that. But you can see like right through here it's doing something. Doing something. Even if it's not just another little channel through here. It's doing something through here, right? And that can go on forever, just like it went on forever right here. Too. So basically, it's probably just got an expansion. Probably just got the expansion here from this breakdown right here, and then it's just moving in between standard deviation and one and two to the downside here. Let me just see if that's what's happening with it because I don't know. Yeah, it's in between standard deviation 1 and 2 right now, and it did get an expansion. Sure did. Got an expansion off of that break right there. After this break right here, you can see that expansion took place right through there. Boom, to the downside. Yep. Yes, it did. Yes, I'm just being extra with the line. But yeah, yes, it did. So you're kind of moving in between here, and that can go on again. That can go on for a minute, but we are coming into that 150, which was the initial target that we've been talking about here on the channel for a while here for Oracle. We'll come back and clean this up later. Let's see. Bears are highly in control, probably on the weekly and all of that good stuff too. Here, what we got? What we got? Yeah, because we failed on our 50. Yeah, failed on the 50 right here on the breakout, and that was me right here with the earnings report coming out, and we were already extended. You can see right here we're already extended outside of here. So naturally, you start to look for it to come back in. Sometimes it comes back in and starts putting in bullish divergence, but the first peak, I wouldn't have knew until a few candles in probably, but the first peak was all the way down here. So yeah, and the same situation just happened right there with that fell from being extended right there also. Extended there, extended on my position right there. It was extended over here as well before coming back in. So it tends to actually work out pretty decent in here on the extensions right here. So yeah, this right here is putting in some bullish divergence on the volatility in here though. So possibly, yeah, like that 150 could be end up being a floor for it to get a little bit of a bounce. You can wait for a breakout here of the trend line. If you want to be a trend line breakout trader, you can do that, or you can wait for a back test and see if we're going to cool off a little bit more on the selling pressure around this zone right here. Right now, it looks like some sort of a cool off is coming into play. But we'll see how well that plays out. Because see, like right here, you can see the rise out of this blue line right here. Whenever that starts to rise up, that tends to indicate some softening of whoever is in control, some softening of whoever is running the show right now. Just like over here where I took my long position at, you can see the softening happening in here. First time it, just bounced off of it and used it as support, and you'd be looking for it to actually break down below it. So it's coming in, it's not there yet, and we're not actually haven't actually hit that 150 just yet. Whoever that big whale was for that 150. Hmm. So I gotta make sure this is gonna come up and be bearish divergence too on uh, that bull dip on that volatility there for Oracle. Let's see what. Oh, well, yeah, I added this in here, so let's take a look at that. Yeah, oh man, that slaps so perfectly with that 150 right there too. Oh, I love it. I love it. I might try Oracle again here. Once it gets into this 150, not saying that that moving average is going to hold it by any means necessary, but once it does get there, it's something for me to worth looking. It's worth me examining. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely worth me taking a little bit of risk right there again on that 150 for Oracle. I know it's going through a ton of crap right now. I mean, the last earnings too, and see that's the crazy. Well, I don't know, what else happened in here. I think it did get like some. I don't think it was the best. The best. Let's see. What was the deal? Why are you on dividends? Let's go over here to earnings. What was the deal? Yeah, I got a little bit of a surprise down here. It wasn't the biggest deal, which is why price action just kind of slowed down and dragged us behind and coming down towards that 150. And I actually had considered, hey, it's moving so slow. Maybe I want to try this again. Maybe I want to try it again. I did not though. I did not because I started to feel like okay, that 150 is on the table. That 150 is still on the table. I know that. I tried it one time. I'm gonna leave it alone for now And yeah, good thing I did. But definitely right here, I will give it another attempt. It'll probably likely go sideways based on all of this right here. Probably go sideways a little bit. Let me see how it's done before here. Just messing around with that level down here. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. And this is all the way back to 2015. Not bad once to get down here towards this white line either. I ain't gonna lie. I might. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. Maybe if it gets the deviation below the line, then I'd rather jump in at that point on it. I mean, it could be sideways in here for a while. I really would prefer to actually deviate below here first, and then I can be like, yeah, I feel like, the brunt of the drop has happened. So whatever little bit more it gives, it won't be too terrible. That's my feelings on it. And I know you don't trade with feelings, but that's my feelings on it. So I look forward to that. I look forward to that here for Oracle. All right, market's about to open now. I've been here. I've run my mouth. I've gone through, the stock simply. I don't really need to hang around on, Bitcoin, too much because it's not really doing anything. So we're still here, still waiting, still underneath, still battling with this rise over here, this potential bearishness. It can easily deviate. So I'm not saying that it can't, but right now it doesn't read positive. As we're about to move into market open. And again, I am down to Crypto TA, and I most certainly appreciate you for joining me today. And I might just make it all about some stock market stuff. I mean, I usually don't stream on Wednesdays. I'm not going to even start on that. If I'm going to stream, I'm going to stream. I don't need to make an announcement about it. But yeah, today's Tuesday. Should be a little bit more excitement. I did not check to see if we had any data coming in today, and we don't. We don't really have anything. Yeah, we don't have anything at all for today. So no problems there. Bitty, 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 bitty. If we do start to, and I need to keep my eyes on gold too. I did take that little bit of profit. I don't know why it's not. I don't know. Let me try it. Let me try it from this chart over here, and let's see. It just might be something going on with TradingView. It just might be. Ah, there it goes. So it could just be what I'm using over there. So I did just go ahead and take some profit out of gold, as I said to you earlier. And so you can see how I set that limit position. I actually forgot about the limit position, but that's the same target that I gave everybody on Saturday. On Saturday, what's the Yeah, it was Saturday that I streamed. What's the Saturday? Friday. Saturday. Whenever the market was falling, I think it was Saturday. The market had took a tumble, and I came in to talk about some stuff. Yeah, I talked about gold on that Saturday, and that was the same target that I gave right there. So, yeah, we held like a beast on that, and thank goodness. So, um, oh boy, market. 1 minute. 1 minute. Let's see what happens here, and if that copper just killing it over there. See where I'm on. Let me go back to this 4 hour time frame. We putting in those little bitty candles over there on on gold right now. And don't forget about that little rising structure on gold. Don't mean it don't break to the upside, but typically, you get a rising structure, be looking for it to break to the downside. So don't forget about that little rising structure on the 4 hour time frame. That's where I drew it from. You can move in any time frame, but it's likely going to be 4 hour and down is going to be the best way of envisioning what's going to happen with that rising structure on gold. Come on, Betty. Market is open. The first few minutes are always going to be a little bit choppy. The read is bearish, but I mean, my chances would have been on a short, but I'm already in a short, so I don't need to open up a new position. It is also at the 20 SMA on that 4-hour time frame. We do have in the 4-hour time frame too is turning to the oh, we look like we might just got a breakout on Amazon. Hold on. Sorry, let me see. I set this alarm for Amazon, and I need to jump into that Amazon position too. I'm running behind and actually doing it if we're getting the break. Okay, so we just no, we spiked into it. I was looking for the shorts over here, and I might steal either here or here, but we just spiked into it. We spiked into it, and yeah, I'm gonna come back and look at it. I was looking for the short right here. Did I set that up properly? Let me see. Yeah, I put it on top of it a little bit. I put it on top of it a little bit. Why I do that? Why did I do that? I don't know. I don't know. I did. I set it on top of it a little bit. But it better not be my dang on move. I'm not gonna chase that though. I still think, and yeah, I'm not gonna chase, but that would have been the perfect place to do it. And then I know I get invalidated immediately. If it's gonna break to the upside, I get invalidated immediately, and switch my bias and look for it to get into the trend line to the top up here of this little rising structure right through here for Amazon. I mean, all things are green over here, so no need in rushing because everything is green. It's all green. So wait on that breakout to happen right there. If anything, let this alarm go off again and consider being long. I mean, I could take the long from here too, but yeah, I could, and just set my stop below here. I want to play with this thing today. Jeez, do I want to play with you? I'll play a little bit. I don't think I ever tried Amazon in here. I'm gonna try it. So I need to zoom out to another time frame to look at it too. Apple's still hanging in there pretty nicely. Apple going now. Apple going. I did a few posts on Apple too. It's bitty. It's bitty. Ethereum, same situation we were talking about in here with Ethereum. That was a really clean cut on ETH. I said I cut that position on ETH because like I said, with Ethereum, Solana, and Bitcoin, you got the rising cloud in here now. Ethereum, I cut it when I saw this right here, and then it just came up and back test and fell right there. So yeah, you know what to look for. Everything that I covered earlier in the stream is what you need to look for on these on the little corrective move. Doesn't mean that we have to come down here and take this out. Like I said, could also put in an inverse head and shoulder. 4-hour time frame was showing that the momentum was starting to fade, and it looks like we're going to get some sort of a negative cross on the 4-hour, hitting the 20 SMA right now with that rejection. But the Bollinger Band is compressing a little bit, so possibly if you're using below fin chart, I can give you some numbers right now, which is possibly going to be something like 76,923. I think that was about something that we matched up in here on Bitcoin. Let's say 70. Is it 76? No, not 76, but 75. 75 4, something like that. 75 4, something like that. Yeah, 75 4 could be, and still have an inverse. I know we put some numbers in here. Okay, yeah, we said we look at this golden pocket, 786 retracement in here, if anything, for it's holding this momentum line in here. Dun, dun, dun. Now, sometimes you get like this bing bong effect right through here. So you can see how it came up and hit the 20. Sometimes you only do something about like that. And then with this compression, get that get that push out. Let me change this line to something like that. Like sometimes you get that. Now if it yeah, sometimes you'll do something like that. And that'll be about all you need to worry about. Push up, break down to here. Stay somewhere right in here for a sec, at least on this 4 hour, and then these bands start tightening up on us a little bit more, and then possibly get that push out and come back, taking out this equal liquidity right here to the upside right here. Sometimes it works like that. And then what we said, if we said that also consider, because this band is turned up down here, that that can be the play, and back testing this breakout right here. Either way it goes, it still gives you a higher low, right? Either way it goes, it still gives you that higher low. Amazon still rejecting there. Still rejecting. That's good, but I'm not in the position, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm in Apple right now. I can't chase everything. Gold's just still holding there. No real activity on gold right now. Yep. But I've been here long enough, so I am calling it a stream. I really appreciate you. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I can't wait to do this all over again. You know, can't wait to do it all over again. Um, yeah, I need to post some stuff right about now. Peace out.